Welcome back to Part-Time Pundits. In this week's episode, we talk to Nabaa from I Speak Football Only, a popular Arabic football highlights show with Nabaa. As the host, she talks obviously football, but on a daily basis, reviews matches. And we actually had a really good catch-up with her.
Yeah, I mean, everything we talked about ranged from Real Madrid to the success of the Iraqi national football team to the state of women's football in the region. So like a really, really fascinating, in-depth chat. About football with Nabaa, great person to come on the show with. So stay tuned, keep watching, and here's the interview. How was the match last night? I followed you yesterday. You were at Iraq UAE, right?
Yeah, it was actually boring, but because it was a friendly and no fans, nothing.
Yeah.
So it was like the first time for me to watch a match without any fans. So I usually just go crazy. But yeah, like yesterday was just like so boring. And obviously both teams, like Iraq, they haven't played in a while.
Yeah.
Some players are new, they're very young. And from UAE, actually they did really well, UAE defensively at least. But they have a new coach, so he still has time. Yeah,
he's come back, right?
Mehdi,
Van Marwijk.
Oh no, Van Marwijk.
Van Marwijk. Yeah.
He kind of left under a cloud, and then he's come back. It's like there seemed to be a revolving door in the UAE with coaches, right? Whereas Iraq have actually kept their guy Katanec, right? He's stayed for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been over 2 years. I'm actually quite happy with his performance with the team. So I'm all Katanec.
They were quite. I mean, they were quite impressive at the last. For me at the Asian Cup. They did all right. I went to see them in Dubai, Iraq against Iran. And then Iraq went and beat Iran in the qualifiers for the World Cup.
That was epic.
Right.
And like, because, the time when the match happened, it was really emotional for us Iraqis. So winning that game was everything for
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was. You guys played well. I mean, I'm half Iranian. I don't know if you've realized from my reaction to this. So.
Okay.
I'm just kind of like, we've not had good luck against Iraq in the last few years. I mean, there was that epic Asian Cup 3-3.
Yeah. I remember that.
That was one of the most insane games I ever watched. And then obviously
that was in Australia, no?
In Canberra.
Yeah, in Canberra, that's right.
And we drew. We drew at the Asian Cup 0-0, and then we lost. And you guys have one over us. Iraq have done pretty well when it comes to playing Iraq credit, and that's a lot down to Katanec and stuff. So no, I like it.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. So let's see. Let's hope he stays longer.
Yeah,
he can help us qualify to the World Cup, hopefully.
Inshallah,
as long as they finish second to Iran in this group. See, I'm all for Iraq going through. Just
you guys have been in the World Cup. Let us go.
I know. It's been a long time. Yeah. Anyway, cool. So look, thanks again for joining us. I think we sent you a bunch of questions. Earlier on, we kind of like sat and had a look at sort of your profile and. It was, I'll be honest, like for me, it was new to be sort of introduced to you. Like Ted showed me your profile and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like we should definitely speak to her and just kind of get your viewpoints on football and things like that. So,
but I guess before we even kind of dive into that, we want to know more about like how you got into this, right? And then obviously you're passionate about football. That's obvious. But like, how did you pursue like doing what you're doing and how do you keep kind of pursuing that? How do you keep going to achieve, what you're achieving at the moment?
So basically, I started as blogging back in 2015, and it was in English actually. But then I started writing in both English and Arabic. I opened a Facebook page, but it was just for me to post the link of the blog. And then it started growing. I noticed people started following. They're waiting for my blogs. They still didn't know that I was a girl. So
okay.
So I was posting just for fun, but noticed that all of a sudden I'm at 30,000 followers. So that was interesting. Then around 2017, I was like, let me start an Instagram page. And that's when I introduced myself and people got to realize that I was a girl. So there was the shock. And around the end of it, I started my YouTube channel. So there was the bigger shock because it was actually based on what my followers, the few followers that I had on Instagram, started telling me like, no, you should not post on stories only, you should actually create an Instagram, a YouTube channel. So that's where I was like, okay, let me start it. But obviously the beginning was a bit tough, given that I wasn't used to cameras and video and shooting and editing and all of that. But yeah, the rest is history. Like I started, and then at the beginning it was tough. I obviously got a lot of criticism from the guys that, you know, you don't belong here, and you know how it is in this region. But luckily it was like the positives were more than the negatives, let's say, and I got a lot of support. People were recommending things here and there, and you know, they helped me a lot and got me to where I am. So yeah, and I got few TV interviews, and that pushed me even further. And then all of a sudden I got to the Asian Cup as an ambassador, the Asian Cup that happened here in 2019. So that was one of like the things that I'm proud of. And yeah, like basically I'm right now, my channel is quite doing well, and yeah, my Instagram is doing well as well, and I got to meet a lot of football celebs, so that's like all a fan wants in life.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you know, do you find that, I mean, how did you do this sort of big reveal? I mean, did you make a song and dance of it when you kind of went on camera? You're like, FYI, I'm a girl, or did you just kind of start and just expect people to be like, oh, okay? Like, what was the kind of reveal? Like, how did you do that?
So I didn't do something big, which is a regret. But first of all, I started posting on Insta stories, and that's because I was, even on Instagram, I was posting just like a screenshot from the website, and this is, you know, the new blog, blah, blah, blah. And then when I started posting on Insta stories, like that was the shock. And on Facebook, I changed my profile picture to my picture. So that's when they were shocked as well. And obviously when I got to YouTube, I started putting up the links. So yeah, then they got to know that. Now I don't think anyone remembers anymore that I had that blog even.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And where did sort of your passion for football come from? I mean, how did you get into football? You know, where did you grow up? Was it in the region or?
Yeah, so like being an Iraqi, obviously, I think if not all, like most Iraqis are into football because of the national team and supporting the national team. And, you know, 2007 had a huge impact.
Of course, yeah.
But I go way back to 1998 when I was 8 years old only. And I started watching the World Cup with my cousins, with my siblings. So that was my first, let's say, exposure. And I actually, every time though anyone asks me, I go like, I found myself there. I don't know if it makes sense. Like I found my happy spot. Like anytime I watch a football match, I just enjoy it from the first minute to the 90th minute. So, and I interact with it and all of that. So I started following it even more, and I watched the Euros and the World Cup and some Real Madrid matches, like mainly. And then after I got to like around grade 12 and first year in university, I was like watching even more and more in depth. So yeah, and the whole analysis thing was not something that I thought of, honestly. It was just like for fun. And then now it's something that I'm pursuing, hopefully, for as a career. So in the future, let's see.
And it just kind of comes naturally now, right? So when you're sitting there watching games, I mean, I've been watching a lot of your stories recently, and I'll see that you're watching a game, and you got this really cool TV up on the wall with, you know, I speak football only, and you're always commenting. I mean, I don't understand it because it's purely in Arabic, but I can see that you're kind of making comments about a play or a game or an incident or something. And I'm assuming that people respond to that, especially in Arabic,
exactly.
Right?
So that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, now they're waiting every time that I skip a match. You know, sometimes I would be busy or something, or shooting a video, and they go like, where is the match? You know, now they stopped watching YouTube highlights. They come to my stories because it's with my commentary on it. Because I make these funny comments whatsoever. Depends on what's happening in the match. And people are enjoying it now. And they actually, a lot of them are sharing my stories and on their profiles. So that's the good part, I guess.
That's great.
I've got to ask you, I mean, you mentioned 2007. you know, the Iraqi triumph at the Asian Cup.
Oh,
you know,
please don't,
Arabia.
as an Australian, please don't mention that.
I was going to say, first of all, beat Australia to go through to the next round. You know, they were
not just beat Australia, completely wiped the floor with Australia.
Yeah. And you guys were just coming off that World Cup, weren't you? 2006. Australia had a good squad. But Iraq come in with Nashat Akram. They come in with Yunus Mahmoud. The goalkeeper. What was his name?
Noor Sabri.
Noor Sabri. Yeah, exactly. You know, he was great. He saved some penalties in the semi-final. You know, how did that feel? You know, as an Iraqi, like knowing everything that, you know, they'd been through. I know that you had, you know, obviously there was the war in 2003, and then they qualified for the Olympics in 2004. And I remember they beat Portugal in the Olympics. You know, there was a good Portuguese under-23 squad playing there. Iraq come in and beat them at the Athens Olympics, and it kind of takes the world by storm.
I remember that.
You've got George W. Bush saying, you know, the Iraqi national team, you've done a great thing, and everyone, you know, and everyone was like, shut up, man, you know, like, you know, what are you talking about? You know. But then 3 years later, you know, the nucleus of that squad that went to the Olympics goes to the Asian Cup and wins,
dominates,
and beats the dominant Saudi Arabian team, beats Australia, beats South Korea. You know, how did that feel? Like, you know, as an Iraqi, like, what was it like?
Honestly, like, given everything that we went through in 2003, and I was personally in Iraq during that time. I came to UAE in 2005, so I lived through that. So it was something like, till now I get goosebumps anytime that anyone mentions 2007 and Asian Cup. We couldn't believe it. Like, I still cannot believe that we actually did that we actually won the Asian Cup. It was very emotional. We were all like, from my parents, myself, my siblings, everyone, all Iraqis. Actually, we had a very huge parade here in Dubai and Sharjah and Abu Dhabi, because like, it was just a sense of pride after like us coming here and leaving our country. It was a lot of emotions and happy, and you know, we were also sad because we are not there, we're not in Iraq to celebrate, but at least we got, you know, our people in here, and we got to celebrate. So it's still something that, you know, I believe they won this Asian Cup for the country, for everything that happened in the country. They did it because obviously we didn't have the facilities. We don't have the best team in the world. They just played with their everything that they can feel and all of that, and they did it. They actually did it. So every day we remember that, and we go like, we're so proud of this team and what they did. And every time, like every year, we get that team gets compared with what's happening now. Like, now you have at least, you know, better facilities and, you know, a better coach and all of that. What stops you from winning? And every time I go like, things back then were different. Everything, all the events,
the motivation was different.
It's funny how that plays on that. You know, a year before you had Italy at the World Cup, right? And they won the World Cup in Germany. But you see how many great teams were at that World Cup. And no one would have said that, you know, yes, Italy had great players, but they were coming off the back of that scandal.
The scandal, correct,
right? You know, it kind of, everyone said, no, you need that to bring the squad together. You need that kind of siege mentality, being like, let's do this, guys. Let's come together and let's win it. So I really believe that sort of exactly in what you said, that, you know, that can really bring a team together and go against the odds and win. I mean, Iraq's, I think previously their previous biggest achievement, I would say, is qualifying for the '86 World Cup.
Exactly.
You know, and they made it there. They had a great qualifying campaign. You know, for me, it's very rare to speak football with someone so passionate like this about Iraq. So it's just really nice to be able to really feel and understand how that would have felt. So you know, it's very, very cool.
It is.
Yeah,
I
love that.
Hopefully we can make it happen again.
Fingers crossed. I mean, you know, we're you know, our channel, we talk a lot about sort of the aesthetics of football, right? And a big part of what we talk about are football kits. And they've just signed a deal now with Umbro. You know, so Iraq have got the Umbro jersey. The Iraqi League has got the Umbro ball, and a few clubs, I think, in the Iraqi League have got the kits as well. You know, it's a really landmark sort of partnership. You know, for Iraq, and it really kind of puts them on the global stage. And you know, the kit that Ted's wearing, Al Wasl, the Umbro one, is pretty cool.
You know,
really I quite like the Iraqi away kit. I'm very eager to see the home kit that they bring out as well. So
yeah, we're excited for it. Actually, I think it's supposed to launch around Feb or something like that. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
nice.
It's something we're really looking forward to. So cool.
Yeah. How about I've got to ask you the question. I mean, do you follow the women's game by any chance?
Not so much given the time, but I do follow, like, everything that happens in the news and all of that. Obviously more on the like European women football, because in the region, women football is not like really popular. It's not being followed, which is sad. I'm also ashamed by it, given that I'm a girl and I'm supposed to do that. But yeah, because of time, and it's not really popular, and it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of attention, a lot of support. It's growing worldwide, but in here, like, we need at least around 10 years maybe to get to where they are today, if we actually start working on it today. So
there were some like really big controversies. I mean, we were discussing this in the lead up to this, that sort of we saw in Egypt, where there was controversy, with some online harassment of some under 23 players. Egyptian women's team, were sort of bullied, right? And then the federation didn't stand up for them, and they actually threatened to disband the team, despite them beating Lebanon. And Lebanon were like a women's powerhouse. And Egypt came and beat them, and then the Egyptian Federation said, well, we're not going to stand up for you. We might actually kind of cut the team out. And a lot of people online kind of were up in arms, saying this is horrible, this is not good for the women's game. In the region, these guys are doing great things. So that was just interesting to see that perspective, that it's still a very sort of male dominated federation over in Egypt.
That, which is really sad. Like, honestly, like, it's really sad to see that, given that they're trying to prove themselves, and they're trying to to show something, that we have those capabilities. But then when they're not getting the support from the federation itself, they go like, what's the point then? And it's just, honestly, I hope that some change will take place at some point.
Yeah, inshallah. I mean, we'd love to see it. We're seeing it in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think over in Saudi, they've launched a women's league in Jeddah, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Yeah.
And for that
very
country,
progressive.
it's very progressive. And I was very pleased to see that. As a fan of the women's game, it was epic.
Of course.
Yeah.
I got a couple more questions here, actually, before we kind of dive into a bit of fun. We were wondering, actually, you mentioned before that you've had a chance to kind of meet a lot of people and kind of do a lot of cool interviews. What's been your favorite interview of all time that you've done over the years, especially running your channel?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
I would say my interview with Katanich, it was like a huge thing for me. Yeah, it was
amazing.
because I got to sit with him, understand his mentality and all of that, and how he's thinking. That interview actually changed a lot of my perspective, let's say, about him, or something like that, because at the beginning I was like not sure, given that he doesn't have that big of a profile. Yes, he did coach a UAE team, but he hasn't really done great things. So but then after I spoke to him, actually I got to learn a lot from him, and that's when I was like, no, I'm gonna support Katanich all the way. And he proved me right. He's been doing really great. The team's ranking has jumped up, and they haven't lost, I don't know for how many matches now, and we're doing well in the qualifiers so far for both Asian Cup and World Cup. So let's see what's going to happen. Everyone is trying to be patient. I mean, and some people are actually trying to get him out of the picture, but I just hope that doesn't happen.
What are your thoughts on Mimo?
On?
What's the guy's name?
Mimi.
Mimi, that was it. Mimi. Muhammad Ali,
Actually, I'm happy for him now that he's in Salah club. He's doing really well. He's scoring. He's getting his chance to play. Unlike the time he was in Portugal and even before that, because he wasn't given the chance to play, and he wasn't allowed minutes, and then that brought his obviously mentally, physically will not do well. So that affected him, not just with the club, but with the team, with the national team.
Yeah.
But given that, he's actually been doing really well. And obviously with the national team, he needs a lot of experience, still needs a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But honestly, one of the things that I believe we missed yesterday was Mimi.
Okay. So he wasn't in the lineup then?
No,
Right,
he
that
was
game.
because he's with his club, so he couldn't
course,
join
yeah.
the team. And it's a friendly, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Ali Adnan is not back in the team, right? I mean, is he still playing for the national team? He played, yeah?
Yeah, he did play yesterday. I actually interviewed him yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, he got injured.
Okay.
Hopefully it's just like a minor thing. It's his arm. But overall, he did well. Obviously, he's one of our captains. And he did say something about maybe going back to Europe. So let's
really?
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he did quite well in Italy, didn't he? I mean, when he was over there.
He played with
well
Udinese.
respected.
Yeah, he did play well. But yeah, obviously he went to MLS. But now let's see if he's gonna get back to Europe. I mean, another Arab in Europe, so that's gonna be great for us.
It'd be really good to see.
There were rumors about him joining Roma. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I mean, that would be amazing if he does.
Udinese to MLS to Roma. That would be amazing. Like, I mean,
I'd take that.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable. Really, really good for the region. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Okay.
I mean,
he's been doing great with Vancouver. Actually, he's been scoring goals. He's been assisting goals and all of that. So yeah, it's like he's one of our best players who are playing outside of the Iraqi league.
Great dead ball. Great,
really
hit a mean free kick. Yeah,
really.
Adnan, yeah, good player.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be a part-time pundit episode if we didn't ask you, or a part-time pundit interview if we didn't ask you about your favorite marketing campaign, football marketing campaign of all time. If you've got any, or if you recall any that are iconic.
Honestly, like I always believed that Pepsi ads from before, they were the best from the time. Like I remember the medieval one with Beckham and Roberto Carlos and Totti and everyone. It was, and Ronaldinho, I think he was with them.
Yeah.
It was like epic, actually. That was one of my favorite ads. And even the one with Casillas, Manchester United versus Real Madrid. It was Casillas and Beckham, and then the horse actually kicks the ball. Yeah. It was like Pepsi has always done great when it comes to these ads. And we miss such kind of ads, honestly.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since they did anything like that.
I mean, now Mo Salah was in one of them, wasn't he, recently?
I'm just trying to remember which one. Yes,
I'm not mistaken.
He was in one, but I just can't remember which one it was. Obviously,
yes, there was a Pepsi. Yeah, there was a Pepsi, but it wasn't like
iconic,
cool, like shot in a cool way, like that one. I mean, those.
Yeah. I think it was him and Messi, right? Like, I mean, it was.
That's right. It was
It was recently. It was
like they put the can on the ball or something.
Right. Exactly. It was Pepsi, right?
The can on the ball. Yeah.
You see, I think back in the day, right, when they had, like you said, Beckham, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos, right? They probably got them all together, right, to do this shoot.
Yes.
But it was. For me, it was really clear that when Messi and Salah were in that ad, they were both on green screen somewhere else around the world. They weren't actually together doing it. So
yeah.
But who would have thought? I mean, looking at that ad in the mid 2000s, that like the face of Pepsi alongside one of the best players in the world would be from Egypt.
Yeah.
It's a really big thing for the Arab world.
Huge,
that he's really done what he's done.
I mean, he's all over billboards here in Dubai. I mean, you see the big Oppo ads on Sheikh Zayed Road. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, go to Egypt, go to Cairo. Anywhere you drive, you see Mo Salah, you see Liverpool being advertised. Unbelievable.
Honestly, if I was Egyptian, I would have just put his pictures all over. Actually, I have his name here, Saluha.
Okay.
This is his nickname that I call him, Saluha, because honestly, it's like what he's done so far with not just with Liverpool, even before that, like with Roma, with Chelsea. He's done a great job. So like we're all proud of him as Arabs.
Yeah,
it's the way football's going. I mean, two of the best players in the Premier League right now. Mo Salah and Son from South Korea. Who would have thought, 5, 6, 7 years ago that would be the case.
African and Asian.
African and Korean, leading.
And even Riyad Mahrez, actually, because Pep Guardiola is not giving him proper playtime, but he's doing really well. I mean, if he gets the time that Salah gets, like a regular starter, he would have done an amazing job.
That season when Leicester won the Premier League,
he was on fire.
He was unreal.
That's the thing. It's always going to be difficult for him to get game time at Man City because they've got such a deep squad and so much kind of rotation
so much
takes
depth
place.
in it.
What do you do? I mean, he was always going to kind of suffer from that. But I mean,
but I think he's going to leave. Maybe I feel at the end of the season.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
I was going to say we want to do a quick fire questions with you. So we'll give it kind of like a minute or so, and we're going to ask you 10 questions. Just your first kind of response to the question that we ask. Right. So you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah?
Hopefully.
Right. We've tried to keep them kind of lighthearted. So and easy for you, right? Who's your favorite Iraqi player of all time?
Yunus Mahmoud.
Okay. Your favorite Iraqi match ever?
You're not gonna like that. Actually, the final against Saudi in the Asian Cup.
Oh, you avoided Australia. You avoided Australia there. Good one.
Thank you. Thank you. Your favorite match of all time? Do you have a particular from any
yes,
club,
that would be the final Real Madrid Atletico Madrid, the 10th, the La Decima final.
Okay.
Sergio Ramos.
Goosebumps every time.
Oh, there we go.
I have the kit here actually.
Yes.
That they won it in. So it's got
9 on it. Yeah.
9 on the.
9. Okay.
The one that they were wearing, and then they changed it to 10. And the Champions League badge on that side as well.
Nice. Yeah, it is like the best, I think, season. I mean, I all I remember is when Ramos scored, I jumped out of my seat and I was screaming, and then I couldn't. I was about to fall because I lost my balance. I was shaking, and then I'm like, I need to sit.
The header at the back post, right?
Yeah,
it just kind of like thundered in, and then
you just knew they were going to do it.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
I mean, you just knew there was something in the air.
You can see it from Atletico Madrid's players' faces.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they'd had an amazing season. Atletico had an amazing season.
Still doing well.
And they're doing phenomenal.
Like Simeone just keeps pulling it out of the bag, with
they're amongst the top 5 leagues in Europe at the moment. They've conceded only 6 goals. Like they're, I think, the best defensive record in all leagues at the moment. 6 goals in like 17 games or something.
Once so far, and that was to Real Madrid only. But it was only once.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win it this season. I believe that now.
Real really need to kind of pick up the game, as do Barca. I mean, but you can see, I think Messi's really starting to enjoy his football again. So let's see. Let's see.
He's doing well as 2021 started.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, just the last few weeks is just something snapped, and it's anyway. We digress. Your favorite goal of all time?
Wow, this one. My favorite goal has to be a Cristiano Ronaldo goal, I would say. His overhead kick against Juventus.
Phenomenal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If you could go back in time and interview one player, who would it be?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
It's my dream to do that. Yeah.
Really?
Have you ever met him before?
I did. I met him, but I never got a picture with him, sadly enough.
Oh, okay.
Was that when they were in Dubai for the Real Madrid cafe opening, or was it?
So I saw him in that, but it was a bit far away. But in the Globe Soccer events,
of course,
right.
The past 3 years I've been seeing him, but unluckily enough, especially this year, I couldn't at all. Last year I got so close, and then I asked, which is a mistake. I should have just taken the picture, but he just didn't.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any football personality, past or present, who would it be?
Wow, that's a tough one. Pirlo.
Oh, okay. That's a good call. Good shout.
He'd be quite a classy dinner guest.
He would be.
Classy dinner.
He'd dress up nicely, and he's a cool guy. I think
Italian. Yeah.
He'd probably cook the dinner.
Probably.
Probably.
He'd be a really good chef. Yeah.
Bella, ciao.
Yeah. Somehow we will try to understand each other.
Yeah, exactly. Your favorite World Cup of all time?
2006, because I am a huge Italy supporter. So that one was
Okay.
The best, obviously, yeah.
That was a very good World Cup. I think one of the best in recent times, anyway.
Just a real feel good factor.
Yeah, 2010 was still okay. 14, not so much. And
yeah. I have this
18.
weird thing about like the 2010, 2014. They were both in winter.
Yep.
Right. So like in Brazil, it was like winter, and in South Africa, it just gave a different weird feeling to the tournament. You know, like it looked strange on TV. Maybe when you were there,
it was strange. No, it was strange all around. I was there for 2010. I spent 3 weeks in South Africa, which was phenomenal. However, it was cold. It was bitter. I think we watched Brazil, Ivory Coast in one of the group stages. It was a dire 0-0 draw. I think Kaka got red carded or something, or Drogba. I can't remember. There was a controversial moment. But it was like, I think it reached -2 degrees.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like everyone's wearing like thermals and jackets, and it was just like, and we were in the kind of nosebleed section as well. So it was, it was like freezing. It was absolutely mental.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. I mean, the next one, the World Cup is now next year. We forget. It's that close. The 2022 World Cup.
I mean, it's end of next year, so it's still potentially
still a
like
while
2
away.
years away. Yeah,
we have a year, almost 2 years.
Yeah. But it's going to be in December.
Yeah.
The final is going to be on Qatari National Day in mid-December. So again, a kind of different vibe to the World Cup, but really, really looking forward to that.
I know.
Me too.
I know.
Hopefully we can attend it. It's going to be my first World Cup to attend.
Oh,
brilliant.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
What's your favorite football kit of all time?
Okay.
Throwing you a bit of a curveball here.
I would say, I don't remember. I think it was the 2003, the Real Madrid 2003 one. If my memory serves me well, I'm not sure, but I think that would be the one.
Okay.
I'm very bad with years, but
Clearly a Madridista. Is that the term for the fans?
I am a Madridista.
Okay. Favorite player of all time?
Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll say that.
Okay. Which makes the 10th question redundant.
What? Don't ask me Ronaldo.
The GOAT or the
Messi?
GOAT?
Ronaldo. No, honestly, I respect both. Both. Both are amazing. Both are legends. I don't think both of them would have done so well if it wasn't for their competition against each other.
Correct. Yeah.
Real Madrid play Iraq in a friendly match. Who do you support?
Oh my God.
Definitely possible.
Iraq. I have to support Iraq. What to do?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So what's next for you? I mean, what are your plans coming up? I mean, do you have anything in the pipeline? Are you just going to keep doing what you're doing? Do you have anything that you're setting up or working on?
Right now, like I'm still working on, the new segments on the channel, on my channel, and like even on Instagram, I started with new segments, so weekly segments. So that's keeping me busy all the time. But let's see. I mean, looking forward to the Euros. I mean, hopefully that would
if they happen.
I know.
Yeah, if they happen, and if the fans can attend. So that's one of the things that were on my list to attend the Euros as well last year before everything just fell apart. But let's see. I mean, that's going to be an amazing experience to actually shoot a lot of vlogs and take the followers with me on that experience, because I always enjoy such experiences.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I mean,
amazing.
That's like a dream come true, honestly. To be able to do that kind of content at a tournament would be fantastic, I really hope
it was so much fun in the Asian Cup, so I was just going from one match to the other.
But that was in one country, right? You can imagine if the Euros does happen in the way that it does, you've got to go across 10 different places, which is insane. But
I think the likelihood of that
insane,
happening,
but it's Europe, so it's nice to me. I love Europe.
Of course, who doesn't?
Europe in the summer, can't beat it. And then there is, I mean, it is technically Europe, but it's there's a game. There are a few games in Azerbaijan.
Okay.
Actually, so it's very close to here, like a couple of hours flight.
Nice.
A few Turkey games are going to be there, so it's easy to sort of pop over. But I mean, if you get to do that, I mean, really, really looking forward to the content.
Absolutely.
Hopefully,
it should be good. But
no doubt.
Yeah, epic. Well, look, cool. I think I mean, we can wrap it up there. I mean, I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Me too. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much again for coming on the show. It's just been a really sort of fascinating insight into you and how you got into doing this. And, you know, for me personally, because, you know, Ted introduced me to your channel. I've really liked sort of watching what you've done, and your like behind the scenes content has been really, really cool. So
what I appreciated was that when we first kind of started following you, anytime we asked you a question, you were kind of quick to respond, and you were engaging with everyone. And I love that you were kind of very open to kind of, you know, agree and have a conversation about whatever it was that we were asking. And I was like, you know, I think your content is great and everything you're doing is great. So, you know, kudos to you and keep going.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah,
we all speak one language anyways.
Yeah.
Football.
Amazing. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you go and follow Nabaa. She's got a great channel as you've seen. I speak football only. See that here. And yeah, look, if you like what you've seen, share it, like it, comment, subscribe, and yeah, hit us up on all the traps.
Take care, guys. Cheers.